Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're here for the matchup between the Pittsburgh Dragons and the New Heights Christian Cougars. Just about ready for kickoff. Hamlin, Clevenger, and Bennett Thomas on the top line for the Cougars to start the game. Peregrine, Ben Schumacher, Justin Boney in the midfield. And across the back, we have Grayson Crumrine, Edgar Nito, Liam Nelson, and Brandon Schumacher. Ball played out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for the Dragons. Ball played out of the back. Chipped into the middle. Peregrine's there to steal. Takes the shot and can't get it on frame. Goal kick for the Dragons. Quick sub for the Dragons. I'm not sure if there's injury or what we had going on there, but Dragons restart the ball. Hamlin's able to win a touch back to Peregrine. Into the middle of the field for Ben Schumacher. He's able to create some space back to his brother Brandon on the back line on the far side. Played down the line to Thomas. Number 7 steps in to steal. Number 7's not on my roster. See, on the JV roster is Braden Carter. Peregrine on the ball. Tries to get to the edge. Gets tripped. And free kick for the Cougars. Actually, it's a throw, and man, this is a small field, tight sideline over there. Back into the box. Clevenger gets a head on it and goes out the end line. Corner kick for the Cougars. Ben Schumacher overtake the corner. Side spinning ball in. Keeper gets a touch on it, can't control, and the Dragons are able to clear it away. Brandon Schumacher chases back, gets a touch into the middle. Stolen away by the Dragons. That's number 9, Rodriguez, being defended by Crumrine. Sent back to the top. Into space for Miller. That's Caleb Miller taking a shot, and Stewart's there to make the save. Stewart all the way to the middle of the field for Hudson Clevenger. Is able to win it down. Plays it across the field. Headed back into the middle to number 3, Lewis. Kellen Lewis. Dragons in possession. Back into the middle of the circle. Mendez switching the field over to the far side. Ben Schumacher comes in for the Cougars, tries to get the steal. Dragons able to maintain possession, switch it to the near side. Crumrine defending. Martinez takes the shot, blocked away. Nelson clears it up to Clevenger, tried to win it down with his chest. Couldn't maintain possession, stolen back by the Dragons. Dragons send it into the box far side. Crumrine gets a touch on it. Nito sends it high into the air. Peregrine gets a head on it into the middle. won by number 17, Caleb Miller. Chipped in. Nelson clears. Schumacher gets a touch. Shot far post off the mark by Yordi Garcia Rodriguez, and it'll be a goal kick for the Cougars. Nelson back to take the goal kick. Nelson to the middle of the field, headed forward by Clevenger into a run for Hamlin. Kason Hamlin chips it back. Stolen away by the Dragons on the deflect. Hamlin chases back to win it and wins the ball. Gets called for the foul. It'll be a free kick for the Dragons. Ball played into the box. Good ball. Stewart's there and is able to make the scoop up. Dangerous ball by the Dragons. Punted back to the middle of the field. Played across the field. Ben Schumacher's able to come in and steal. Plays it up ahead. Thomas is there to challenge. Dragons in possession, but lose it out of bounds. Throw in for the Cougars. High into the air. Hamlin's able to get it down. Schumacher there fakes the shot and can't keep possession. Hamlin comes back in and steals it. Perigin ships it over to Thomas into the box. Thomas working across, cleared away again by the Dragons. Boney steps in, chips it back to Perigin. Over the top to Clevenger. Thank you. Ooh, that's actually, yes, I think that's what I need.
For the new girl.
Oh, nope, it's a little too small. Thank you for bringing that.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I have no
All right, out of bounds will be a goal kick for the Cougars. Sorry, I forgot to bring the laptop charging cord, so had some parents helping with cords of their own, but none of them are matching up, so we are on the stream on the iPad, though. Hamlin fighting for the ball, is able to win it, plays it back to Clevenger. Stolen by Perez. Clevenger gets it back to Perigin, chips it over the top for Clevenger into the box. Goalie comes up, loose ball, Thomas there, back heel, gets into the box, loses his feet, and cleared away by the Dragons. All the way to the middle of the field. Good touch by number 9, Rodriguez. Boney defending. Plays it across off of Boney, stays in play, and Nelson clears it out on the sideline. Almost 9 minutes in, no score yet. Throw in, Perigin's able to head it away. Perigin chests it down, shot, goes to the far post, and out of play. Goal kick for the Cougars. William Nelson back to take the goal kick. Sent into the middle. First touch by the Dragons. Schumacher comes over to win it in the middle. Gets it to Clevenger. Clevenger on the attack. Plays it through for Perigin. Perigin out racing everybody. Gets a touch in the box. Still fighting for it, and the Dragons do a good job clearing it to the sideline to take away the threat. Sent back into the middle of the field. Good touch into transition for the Dragons. Played across the field with some space to Manny Perez. Boney comes in and chips it away with his left. Clevenger tracks back to the ball. Gets a touch, looking for an option. To Nelson on the ground. Stolen back by number 17, Caleb Miller. To David Mendez. Played to the far side for number 4, Morales. And stolen back by Perigin. Clevenger chips it up to Ben Schumacher in the middle. Schumacher loses his feet. No foul on the advantage. Clevenger chips it up to Hamlin. Hamlin gets a shot. And not enough on it as the keeper, Luis Garcia Ruda, is able to scoop it up. Ball in the middle of the field. Boney steps in to win the challenge. Gets it over to Hamlin. Hamlin back to Boney. Boney on the ground. Stolen by the Dragons. Ball over to Perez. To the near side for number 8, Martinez. Send into the box. And Stewart's there for the Cougars to scoop it up. Stewart punts it into the middle of the field. First touch by the Dragons. Still in the center circle. Schumacher comes in and deflects. Thomas is there. Slide tackle comes in. Thomas stays on the ball, being pressured by number 7. Is number 7 Braden Carter? Is number 7 Braden Carter? Okay, thank you. And it'll be a free kick for the Dragons. 28 minutes to play in the first half, no score here in Pittsburg, Kansas. Side spinning ball in. Perigin comes in and steals off the first touch. Perigin looks for the through ball to Clevenger. Good feet by number 2, Ward. And stolen back by the Dragons. Perigin comes in and challenges. Ball played wide and into the corner. Boney shielding, and good job by Boney to win the shielding battle, and goal kick for the Cougars. Oh, actually, they're calling a corner kick. All right, corner kick for the Dragons. This is a very tight field, one of the smaller fields we've seen. So this is only about a 30-yard corner kick. Spinning ball in. Nelson heads it away. Dragons get back to it. Brandon Schumacher there. Bicycle kicks it high into the air. Thomas trying to settle it down. Thomas fighting for possession, able to get through. Deflected back by the Dragons. Number 17, Caleb Miller. Chipped away up to Perigin. Deflected by the Dragons. Back to Perigin. Perigin sends Thomas on the run. Dragons play it back into the middle for Clevenger to steal. Ball falls to Schumacher off the challenge. Schumacher playing it across the field. Back to Crumrine. Crumrine over the top to Clevenger. Dragons win possession. Over to number 4, Morales. Back into the middle for Miller. To Carter. Carter over the top. Loose ball. Stewart on his line. And he's able to get off and get to the ball for the save. Top spinning ball back in the middle of the field. Clevenger loses his feet. No call as the Dragons steal. Caleb Miller plays it wide. Back to Miller. In the middle of the field, switch to the far side. Dragons send it across too high, though, as Hamlin tracks back. Hamlin plays it back in the middle of the field, stolen back by the Dragons. Played up ahead. Crumrine there heads it down to Boney. Dragons step in and steal. Windy day here in Pittsburg, Kansas. Ball into the box. Rodriguez there sends it across, and that's a goal for the Dragons. 24-49 in the first half. Pittsburgh Dragons take the 1-0 lead. All right, restart of play. Clevenger plays it up to Nelson. Liam Nelson has moved up to that left wing position as some subs have come in the game. Ball goes back to Perigin. He challenges for the ball, is able to win it back. Wide to Nelson. Nelson gets to the end line. Back to Clevenger with his left. Deflected back to Schumacher. Deflected again by the Dragons over to Ruben Brake and cleared away again. Schumacher chases back for the ball. Falls to Nangle. Nangle sends it back in. Headed down by the Dragons. Perigin steals. Being challenged by Perez. Perigin carrying across. Deflects the ball. Nelson holds it up. Plays it back to Perigin on the far side. Perigin working across the box. Takes the shot. And keeper's there. Ruda to make the save. Back to the middle of the field. Crumrine gets the chest on it to win it back towards the Cougars. Stolen back by the Dragons. Nelson steals. Carrying down the far side. Slide tackle comes in by number 4, Morales. And whistle, foul called on the Dragons. Will be a free kick for the Cougars. Perigin sent up the free kick. About 45 yards out. Clevenger on the far side, Nelson in the middle. Perigin side spinning ball in. Headed away by the Dragons. Clevenger's there to get to it. And Clevenger's called for offside. Must have been off before Perigin touched the ball, before Perigin kicked it, because the Dragons are the ones that hit that second ball. Free kick back to the middle of the field, knocked out of bounds by the Cougars, and it'll be a throw-in for the Dragons on the far side. Back into action. Clevenger's able to steal. Carries to the far side. Clevenger has a touch. And knocked out of play. Throw in for the Dragons. couple subs coming in the game for the Pittsburgh Dragons. Ball played in, challenged by Schumacher. Ben Schumacher's able to win it. Back across the middle of the field. Schumacher still on the ball. Makes one more touch and gets fouled. That should be a yellow card for a promising attack. I doubt they'll call it, though. Perigin takes the free kick, chips it over the top. Nelson on the backside gets a touch. Ruda for the Dragons is able to come in and clear it away. Perigin gets tripped up as he's trying to turn, and another free kick for the Cougars. Perigin side spinning ball in. Luis Garcia Ruda there, the senior goalkeeper for the Dragons, to save it. Into transition. Ball played in the middle of the field. 1-2 play. Up ahead. Good transition by the Dragons. Meningus gets held, is able to get back to the ball. Stolen back by the Dragons. Sent into the box, and Stewart's there to scoop it up. Stewart punts it away into the middle of the field. Clevenger tries to settle it down, gets the first touch. Finds Perigin. Perigin touches through. Number 7, Braden Carter steps in to win it. Stolen back by Nangle. Plays it wide. And foul called again on the Dragons. Free kick for the Cougars. Perigin takes the quick restart. Finds Nelson on the backside. Headed into the air by Ward. Dylan Ward. And hold called on Nelson. It'll be a free kick for the Dragons. $18 minutes left here in the first half. Dragons leading 1-0. Ball sent into the middle. Nangle gets a touch. Stolen by the Dragons. Ball played across the field. Touched by Ryland Martin. Martin on the ball. Dragons possessing. Back to Martin. Over to number 18, Manzur. Takes the shot with his left. And Stewart's there to scoop it up. Stewart plays it to the near side. Clevenger wins it down. Clevenger plays it over the top for Perigin. Perigin gets a touch on it. He's into the box. Perigin takes the shot and scores the goal. And the Cougars have tied the game. All right, restart a play. Stolen by the Cougars. That's Nelson. Nelson carrying up ahead. Plays it to Perigin on the far side. Perigin lets it run as he gets to the corner. Looking at his option. Sends it across with his left. Ruda gets a touch, can't control it. Clevenger's there, tries to head it in. Cleared into the air by the Dragons. Nelson comes in to challenge and gets the karate kick, but gets called for the foul. And free kick for the Dragons. Good opportunity for the Cougars. And good save by the Dragons to prevent the goal. 16:30 left here in the first. Dragons on the far side, played over the top. Ningus gets ahead to put it out of play, and it'll be a throw-in for the Dragons. Some subs. Actually, no subs there. They're just confusion on where they were standing. So, restart of the action. Perigin plays it up to Nelson, stolen back by the Dragons into the middle for Clevenger to steal. Clevenger over the top for Perigin again on the run. Perigin beats the defensive line. He's into the box. And good recovery by the Dragons to thwart the shot attempt. It'll be a corner kick for the Cougars. Ball sent in by Schumacher, headed away by the Dragons. Nangle there to challenge. Played into the air by number 13, Rodas. Clevenger comes back to steal. Gets a move into the box. Top of the box, actually. Clevenger thinks about it. Takes it with his left, deflected away by the Dragons. Nelson comes back to help. Sends it into the box as Brake comes over to challenge. And knocked out of bounds by the Dragons. Will be a throw for the Cougars. Perigin takes the throw into the box, headed into the air. Nelson comes in. Ball's loose, but Schumacher with his left. And saved by the keeper, Ruda. Ruda punts it away, all the way past the midfield line. Nato there to settle with his chest, plays it back in for Perigin. Perigin gets pushed, is able to stay on the ball. Fight for the ball as Dragons are able to steal. Perigin comes back to play it and knocked out of play. It'll be a throw-in for the Dragons. Number 6, Manny Perez there on the challenge. Perez back to the ball. Perigin wins it back. Up to Clevenger. Clevenger's able to turn. Plays it with his left to the back line, and the Dragons steal. Can't keep control of it, though. Thrown for the Cougars. Ruben Brake there takes the quick throw to Perigin. Perigin tries to cut it back, but defended well by number 3, Kellen Lewis. And out of bounds again, throw in for the Cougars. Perigin takes the throw into the box. Headed away by the Dragons. Back to Perigin. He sends it in again. Ball's loose on the ground. Brake there with his left. Can't get a strike on it, and it falls over to Nelson on the far side. Nelson makes a move. Gets into the box. And corner kick is the ruling. Ben Schumacher over to take the corner. .12:50 left in the first half. Schumacher sends it in, headed away by the Dragons. And that's how narrow this field is. That actually went all the way out of bounds. Schumacher takes the quick throw in to Perigin. Perigin across the box, headed away by the Dragons. Nelson over there. Nelson's able to get to it. Cuts it back in. Takes the shot as he gets pushed from behind. And no call on that one as Schumacher challenges back for the ball. Stolen by the Dragons into transition. Nato steps up, can't get a touch on it. Number 7, Carter is able to push by. Cleared away by the Cougars over to Brake. Stolen back by the Dragons in the middle of the field. To number 11, Martin. Cougars again steal. That's Ben Schumacher, played wide to Lucas Nangle. Nangle carrying across, plays it to Nelson. Liam Nelson on the far side, drops back to Brandon Schumacher on the back. Schumacher over the top. Challenge for the ball. Nelson's able to get to it. Drop to Perigin. Perigin tries to play it through for Clevenger. Cleared away again by the Dragons to the far side and out of bounds. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Brandon Schumacher takes the throw, gets it up to Perigin. He heads it forward. Cleared away by the Dragons. Back to Ben Schumacher to Brandon. Into the middle, stolen by the Dragons. Into possession. Play to the far side. Crumrine's there to defend. Meningus comes over to help. Number 2, Ward comes in to challenge the ball. Ward gets to it. Meningus, good positioning, is able to steal it back. Meningus plays it over the top for Clevenger. Clevenger settles, tries to drop to Perigin. Perigin challenges back for the ball, stolen by number 12, Salas. And shot by the Dragons from number 7, Carter, but too far out. Can't get it on frame. Under 11 minutes to play here in the first half. Score tied at 1. Perigin back to take the free kick. Big ball. Nobody's coming, though. Dragons are able to win it into possession. Number 3, Lewis. Stolen by Ben Schumacher. Plays it through for Clevenger. Clevenger looking for a shot. And can't get it on frame. Goal kick. Dragons. Dragons back into the middle of the field. Stolen by Perigin. Perigin up to Clevenger. 1-2 back to Perigin. He takes the 3-toe and rolls into the keeper, Ruda. Ruda punts it away. Challenge in the middle. Brandon Schumacher there. Plays it over to Nato. Nato one touch to Nangle. Nangle up to Clevenger with some space. Clevenger drops it to Perigin. Perigin over the top for Nelson on the backside. Nelson gets a touch. And Nelson gets called for offside. It's a tough call on a 2-man crew. Dragons get the free kick. Perigin steals with his chest in the middle. Has some room. Clevenger making a diagonal run. Perigin carrying. Making a move. Has 4 defending. And Perigin takes a shot over the goal. Goal kick, Dragons. Lucas Nangle subbing out of the game as Gavin Dole makes his first appearance of the night. Dole will come to that center back position as Edgar Nito pushes up to the defensive mid. Eight minutes to play here in the first half. Restart of play. Dragons take the free kick to the middle. Schumacher wins it with his head up to Nelson. Stolen back by the Dragons. Nelson fights for possession. It's number 9, Rodriguez, still on the ball. Dominguez steps in and clears it away. Nelson on the challenge. Dragons are able to keep it in possession, played across the box. First touch by number 11, Martin. Bicycle kick into the box, and Stewart's there to make the save. Stewart punts it away. Clevenger gets a touch back to Break. Break carrying, gets it back to Perigin. Perigin through, stolen by the Dragons. Ball's loose in the middle. Clevenger comes in with a tackle. Nato steps up, plays it to the far side for Nelson. Nelson and number 7, Carter, challenge for the ball. And foul called on Carter. Free kick for the Cougars. and sends it over the goal. And it's a goal kick for the Dragons. Ruda had it in his hands but dropped it, and Perigin was right there for the cleanup, but couldn't get it on frame. All right, goal kick for the Dragons. Ball in the middle of the field. Nato's there to settle it. Nato over to Brake. Brake tries to turn. Stolen by the Dragons. That's number 17, Caleb Miller. Caleb Miller with his left, deflected by Brake to Nato. Over to Perigin. Perigin tries to play it through, deflected by the Dragons. Stolen away by number 2, Ward. Into the middle of the field, played wide to number 11, Rylan Martin. Over the top, Meningus is there to defend, heads it away. Crumrine challenges for the ball. Martin's able to get back to it. Meningus steps in, gets the ball up to Schumacher. Ben Schumacher still fighting for it. Stolen back by the Dragons. Meningus steps in again and wins it. And Meningus draws the foul. Free kick for... Actually, he gave that foul to... Wow. All right, foul called on Meningus for getting saddled. It's the old illegal saddle. She's saying he moved his arms in a backward motion, which caused the mounting. Shot on goal. Stewart's there to make the save. 4:30 left in the first. Stewart punts it away. Clevenger gets the first touch, able to settle it. Looking to turn. Perigin makes the run. Clevenger over the top to Perigin. Won by the Dragons. Back into the middle. Nato's there. Gets a touch. Nato looking at his options. Plays it to Perigin. Perigin has room to turn. Plays it over the top for Clevenger. Challenged by Lewis. Clevenger into the box. Trying to find an option. Leaves it for Perigin with his left. And send it over the goal. Goal kick again for the Dragons. Some subs coming in the game for the Dragons. Number 16, Anthony Ruda. Looks to be the younger brother of the keeper, Luis Garcia Ruda, maybe. All right, restart a play. Ball to the far side. Nelson gets a touch on it. Can't keep it in. Throw in for the Dragons. Back into play for the Dragons. We're going to switch the field over to Ruda. He's able to settle it down back into the center circle. Number 6, Manny Perez gets a touch up ahead. Over to number 4, Morales. And out of bounds on the touch line on the far side. Throw in for the Dragons. Number 20, David Mendez there for the throw for the Dragons. Nelson comes in, is able to steal off the throw. Perigin looking to send Clevenger on the run. Clevenger gets the ball. Makes a touch into the box. Gets some support. Clevenger still on it. Deflected away by the Dragons. and into transition.
¡Sube, Diego!
To the middle of the field for number 4, Morales. Over the top, all the way into the box. Crumrine challenges. Is able to keep it in. Ball's loose at the top. Shot taken by number 4, Morales. And corner kick for the Cougars. 1 minute to play here in the first half. Perigin again back for the goal kick. All the way up to Clevenger. Heads it forward. Ball rolling to the box. And Ruda is there to grab it. Back spinning ball back to the middle. Perigin wins it down with his arm and gets called for the handball. David Mendez there for the Dragons to take the free kick. Mendez sends it in, side spinning ball. Meningas heads it away. Number 17, Caleb Miller takes the shot and rolls into Stewart to clean it up. 10 seconds left to play. Stewart punts it away over to Clevenger. Clevenger gets a good touchdown. Sends Perigin on the run. Perigin gets a good touch. 3 seconds to play. Perigin takes the shot and goes far post off the mark. That does it for the half. All right, so after 40 minutes to play, score tied 1-1. And we'll take a 10-minute break here for halftime and be back for the second half. All right, we're back and ready to start the second half. Game tied at 1. Brake, Clevenger, and Nelson across the front for the Cougars. Perigin, Schumacher, and Nito in the midfield. And Brandon Schumacher, Meningus, Gavin Dole, and Bennett Thomas across the back for the Cougars. Rush Stewart in the goal. Whistle blows and we're underway. Looks like we had a false start there. We'll restart play. Clock is going. Oh, actually, we are going to reset the clock. All right. All right, we're underway. Schumacher steps in, draws the early foul. Edgar Nito takes the free kick. Top spinning or back spinning ball up ahead. Dragons are able to win it. That's number 4, Morales. Through ball played, Nito steals. Finds Perigin. Perigin tries to poke through. Deflected by Perez. Brandon Schumacher there on the backside. Drops to Meningus. Meningus chips it over the top. Stolen back by Manny Perez. Cougars deflect. Ruben Brake there on the near side. Brake carrying down the line. Stolen back by the Dragons. Dragons are able to turn. It's number 18, Manzur. Over to Morales. Stolen by Perigin. Perigin out on the run. Has one to beat. Bridge touches through and cleared away by Kellen Lewis. All the way back to the midfield. Schumacher steps up to pressure the ball. Number 9, Rodriguez. Over to number 4, Morales. Played to the far side. Sent across the box. Garcia Rodriguez is there. He's able to keep it in. Meningus steps up to pressure. Rodriguez gets a touch into the box. Meningus gets the tackle. Shot by number 4, Morales, and saved by Stewart. Stewart punts it away into the midfield. Slide tackle by the Dragons is successful. Over to Morales. Switch to the field. Number 8, Cancinos, being defended by Thomas. Perigin comes to help. Cancinos takes the shot, and Stewart can't handle it. Goes out of bounds for a corner kick. Garcia Rodriguez there to take the corner. Bunch in the middle of the box. Ball played high as Perigin comes in and gets a touch. Can't control it. Sent back in by number 7, Braden Carter. Challenge at the top of the box. Number 20, Mendez, tries to get the turn. Still in possession for the Dragons. Played over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez sends it across. Thomas steps in. He's able to get a touch on it. Shot taken. And off the post, and a goal for the Dragons. Clock still running. Then Schumacher takes the restart and sends it over to Nelson. Cleared away by the Dragons. Back in the middle field, won by Peregrine. Peregrine up to Clevenger, into the attack. Clevenger gets through, takes the shot, saved by Ruda, I'm sorry. And out of bounds, it will be a throw in for the Cougars. Peregrine there to take the restart throw, gives it to Ben Schumacher, who plays it all the way across for Nelson. Nelson tries to get ahead on it, but can't get there, and it'll be a goal kick for the Dragons. Restarted in the middle of the field. Settled by Garcia Rodriguez into the turn. Meningus gets to it first. Touches it wide. Challenged from the side, but Meningus is able to win it up to Clevenger. Chip to Nelson into the box. Keeper's up. Nelson sends it high into the air and over the goal. Restart on the goal kick for the Dragons. Number 20, David Mendez, back to take the kick. Played to the far side. Nelson steals. Plays the through ball to Clevenger at the top of the box. Clevenger drops back to Peregrine. Peregrine tries to set up the shot, stolen away or deflected away by Manny Perez. All the way back to Gavin Dole on the back line. Switched over to Meningus. Nixon Meningus gets a touch into the middle for Nato. Nato wide to Nelson. Nelson looking at his options. Nelson trying to turn. Plays it back into the middle, deflected by the Dragons and out of play. Goal kick. Throw in for the Cougars. Nelson back to Clevenger. Clevenger makes a move. Tries to get through again and deflected away by the Dragons. Thomas sends it back in. Peregrine challenges back. Peregrine able to get to the ball and draws the foul. Actually, the foul's called on Peregrine. Free kick for the Dragons. All right, so some confusion between the two refs, and it is a free kick for the Cougars. Gavin Dole there to take the free kick. Dole chips it into the box, headed into the air. Schumacher tries to get a follow on it. Still in the air. Peregrine tries to settle. Nelson there with his right, deflected away. Ben Schumacher gets a touch on it. Played wide by number 16, Anthony Ruda. Dragons able to clear. Nato there gets a touch back into the middle. Gets it to Peregrine. Peregrine sends it all the way across the field. Clevenger settles. Gets challenged, and the Dragons are able to clear. Falls to Brandon Schumacher. Schumacher wide to Break. Break gets a touch in. Dragons steal, but right back to Schumacher. Stolen back by the Dragons. That's number 4, Morales. Over to the middle. Switch to the field by the Dragons. Ben Schumacher comes in and deflects. Ball on the ground, and Break can't get in there. As number 7, Braden Carter steals. Thomas steps up to challenge. Both players go down. And foul call on Thomas will be a free kick for the Dragons. Side spinning ball in. Dole tries to clear it and gets through. Stewart's there to scoop it up. Stewart top spinning ball into the middle for Clevenger. Stolen back by the Dragons. That's number 6, Harrigan. I'm sorry, number 6, Manny Perez. Cougars get the foul. Harrigan there to take the free kick. Back spinning ball over to Nelson. Gets a touch with his chest. Cleared away by the Dragons. All the way up to Garcia Rodriguez. Bennett Thomas challenging on the far side. Rodriguez gets to the edge, looking to turn in. Drops it across the middle, and Nato's there to clear for the Cougars. It'll be a throw-in for the Dragons. Shot by the Dragons, far post, and off the mark. Goal kick, Cougars. 30 minutes left to play here in the second half. Dragons leading 2-1. Dole sends it into the middle. First touched by number 20, David Mendez. Dragons into possession. Played through. Thomas clears. Perigin sends it high into the air for Clevenger and Nelson to chase. Kellen Lewis there gets a header down. Clevenger plays it wide to break. Back to Clevenger. Clevenger to Perigin. Back to Clevenger. Fights through and cleared away. Ben Schumacher comes to the ball. Plays it to Perigin. Perigin turns, takes the shot, and sends it over the goal. Goal kick for the Dragons. Dragons take the restart in the middle of the field. Schumacher heads it over to Perigin. Perigin carrying down the far side. Being challenged by 2 defenders. Perigin gets through. Makes the fake. And gets tackled in the box. And I'm not sure what the call is there. Maybe he's outside the box. Looks like they're calling a free kick right just outside the box. Perigin will take it for the Cougars. Clevenger's on the backside. Break and NATO up top. Schumacher at the top of the box. Sent across. Cleared away. Ben Schumacher there in the follow. And Schumacher buries it. Tie game. Restart of play. Tied 2-2. Dragons play it back to Manny Perez. To 20, David Mendez. Number 7, Braden Carter there on the near side. And Clevenger fouls him. Will be a free kick for the Dragons. David Mendez over to take the free kick. Send all the way to the top. Menengus does a good job heading away. Schumacher gets a header to Perigin. Perigin with space, plays it over the top for Clevenger and Nelson to chase. Too heavy as Ruda's able to come up out of off the line and secure it for the Dragons. Perigin deflects the ball in the middle, still in possession for the Dragons. Played across the middle of the field. Ball's loose. NATO challenges, still on the ball. Shot. Menendez comes in and gets a great deflection. Go over to the near side for Perez. To Morales. Shot off the crossbar. And the follow is saved by the Cougars. Quick restart of play. Shot again, and this time it goes over the goal. Goal kick, Cougars. Big cluster on the goal line, and the Cougars are able to keep it out of the goal. Restart of play by Dole, all the way up ahead. Schumacher challenges for the ball with Perez. Ben Schumacher able to get to it. Into possession. Schumacher has some room. He's carrying. Plays it through to Nelson. Nelson on the ball, takes a shot, and sends it over the goal. Goal kick, Dragons. David Mendez back to take the goal kick for the Dragons. Sends the driving ball into the middle. Dole there first, gets a touch up ahead to Perigin. Perigin back heel to Schumacher. Ben Schumacher on the ball. Looking at his options, carrying across the field, drops back to Thomas. Thomas in possession, plays it over the top for Nelson. Stolen by Perigin. Perigin makes a move into the middle, it gets fouled. And it'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Perigin may take this quickly. Perigin takes the kick. And off the goal kick, Dragons. Mendez back to take the kick for the Dragons. 23:30 left to play here in the second half. Score tied at 2. Foul called on Nelson. And number 8, Kevin Martinez, sends it away. Dole there shielding as Stewart comes up and grabs it at the top of the box. Stewart punts it away to the middle of the field. Falls all the way to Clevenger. Clevenger with his chest, trying to turn. Clevenger gets through the first challenge. He's on the ball, plays it over the top for Perigin. Perigin one-on-one with the goalie. Ruda makes the save. Falls to Clevenger. Clevenger to follow, and can't get it on frame. Goal kick again for the Dragons. Luis Garcia Ruda, great save to thwart that third goal for the Cougars. Sold out his body Took it right in the chest. Back to the action. Ben Schumacher comes in, gets a touch. Back to the ball, plays it to Perigin. Perigin gets through the challenge. Perigin back to the ball. Trying to get to the edge. Perigin still on the ball. And foul called on the Dragons. Will be a free kick for the Cougars. Perigin about 20 yards out on the edge. Clevenger on the backside calling for it. Schumacher at the top. Nelson, Nato, and Brake in the box. Backside ball headed into the air by number 3, Lewis. Perigin comes in to try to win it back. Dragons touch it towards the goal. And Perigin gets in to get a touch, but not on frame. And it'll be a goal kick again for the Dragons. David Mendez there to take the goal kick. Short ball up to Manny Perez. Gets it through to number 4, Morales. Stolen back by the Cougars. Meningus over the top to Clevenger. Stolen by the Dragons. Lewis clears it. Meningus again challenges for the ball. Falls to Dole. Dole ball up to Perigin. Perigin challenging with number 18, Manzur. Falls to Schumacher. Ben Schumacher on the ball. Tries to play it over the top for Nelson on the run. Nelson's there. Keeper comes out. And keeper's able to grab it. Good read by the keeper, Ruda. Ball back into the middle for Manzur. Over to Perez. Perez drops to the near side for Braden Carter. Perigin comes in, deflects it. Clevenger comes back to challenge. Challenge for the ball. Clevenger is able to win it, but pushes through and gets called for the foul. Free kick for the Dragons. Under 20 to play. Game tied at 2. David Mendez takes the free kick. Meningus there gets a touch on it. Dragons are able to steal. Thomas steps in and clears it up to Nelson. Nelson on the far side. Plays Perigin on the run. Mendez comes in to challenge. Perigin's able to get back to it, carrying down the far side. Clevenger in the middle. Nelson making the run. Perigin into the box, looking to send it across. Fakes it back. Perigin makes one more touch. And looked like he may have been getting held off, but no call on the challenge. Ball up ahead into the circle for the Dragons. Dragons into a transition opportunity. Touch down the line. Thomas steps in. Thomas is able to turn and clear it back to the middle. Sent high into the air. Brake works his way over. Brake fighting for a touch. Juggled down by the Dragons. Stolen by Clevenger. Hudson Clevenger trying to turn, gets it stolen. Meninga steps in to challenge, but ball falls to the Dragons. Stewart dives for it and is able to get back on top of it. Stewart there to punt it away to the far side. And that ball is drifting to the sideline. Nelson's able to keep it in with the header. Perigin heads it forward, up to Nelson. Nelson's on. One touch back to Perigin. Perigin gets a touch into the box. Fighting for it, gets to the ball, makes another move, and can't find the frame. Deflected away by Ruda. Corner kick for the Cougars. Subs coming in the game on the corner. In for Ruben Brake. And the Dragons also have a sub coming in the game. Ben Schumacher taking the corner, plays it short to Perigin. Perigin sends it low in, deflected away by the Dragons. Nato there settles it with his chest, tries to get the follow, deflected, and right to the keeper, Ruda. He punts it away into transition into the center circle. Dole settles down, drops it back to Stewart on the back. Stewart plays it wide to Thomas. Thomas challenges for the ball. Number 11, Martin, on into the run. Schumacher steps up, steals, gets it to Nato. Nato looking to switch the field, plays it over to Hamlin, deflected away by the Dragons. That was number 4, Marita Morales. Quickly back in by Hamlin to Clevenger. Clevenger at the top, gets challenged from behind. Ball's loose. Clevenger looking for an option, plays it back to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher carrying across, trying to get the turn. Schumacher into the box, still challenging for it. Takes the shot, deflected by Ruda. Falls back to Nelson. Nelson takes the one touch and sends it well over the goal. Goal kick for the Dragons. Mendez takes the restart over to the far side. Perigin comes over to challenge. Perigin steals, carrying down the line. Looking across for Hamlin. Into the box. Perigin makes another move, drops it back to Nelson. Nelson turns, drops it back to Schumacher. Schumacher one touch to Perigin. Perigin gets challenged by number 16. Actually, I'm not sure who that was. Into transition for the Dragons. Dole gets a touch over to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher carrying up ahead. Has some room in front, plays it through for Hamlin. Hamlin on the run into the box. Gets a touch, cuts it back. Hamlin sets up the shot and gets pushed down. Goal kick for the Dragons. Under 15 to play. Game tied at 2. Ball sent in the middle of the field. First touch by Perigin. He's able to settle it down. Gets it to Clevenger. Clevenger tries to turn. Gets back to the ball. Gets challenged and stolen by the Dragons. Switch to the field. Nato comes over to pressure. Nato steps in. That's number 11, Rylan Martin. Martin loses his feet. Gets back on his feet. Played across the middle. Number 4, Morales to the ball. Dole comes in. Dole looking for an option. Stolen back by the Dragons. Dole comes in with the tackle and gets called for the foul. Be a free kick for the Dragons. Ball sent into the top. Meningus is there to clear it away all the way up to Clevenger. Clevenger tries to touch it, but stolen away by number 7, Carter. Braden Carter takes the shot, deflected by Clevenger. Over to the near side. Brandon Schumacher there. Touches wide. Back to the middle. Clevenger deflects. Meningus comes in and clears it. All the way to Kellen Lewis on the back line for the Dragons. Sent over to the far side. That's number 20, Mendez. Over to number 5, Garcia. And goal kick for the Cougars. Gavin Dole back to take the goal kick. Back spinning ball into the middle. Headed back down by the Dragons. Carried across the middle. That's the number 20, Aguilar. Driving ball in and off the mark. Goal kick for the Cougars. 5 subs coming in the game for the Dragons. Gavin Dole back to take the restart. 12 minutes to play. Dole side spinning ball to the near side. Hamlin comes over. Gets a touchdown. Hamlin in possession. Carrying through. Stolen away by the Dragons. Clevenger comes to challenge. Sent across. Over to number 9, Garcia Rodriguez. Back into the middle. Deflected. Nato clears up to Hamlin. Hamlin plays it to Clevenger. Clevenger's able to win it. Over the top for Nelson on the run. Nelson into the box. Gets a touch to settle. Plays it back to Perigin. Perigin one time and just far of the post. And it'll be a goal kick for the Dragons. Norland Aguilar back to take the goal kick for the Dragons, number 21. Back spinning ball to the middle. Perigin's there. Gets the touch with his chest. Up to Clevenger. Clevenger trying to turn. Cuts it back. Clevenger makes the first man miss. Takes it with his left. And again off the mark. Goal kick for the Dragons. Ten minutes to play. In regular time. Restart of play. Back in the middle. Schumacher steals. Over to Perigin. Switch to the field to Hamlin. Into the box. Hamlin gets to it. Takes the one touch with his left. And stolen back by the Dragons. Perigin comes in a challenge. Gets a touch on the ball. Perigin gets through. Gets fouled. And it's outside the box. It'll be another free kick for the Cougars. That's a dangerous spot to take the free kick, though, for Michael Perigin. Number 7, Braden Carter down on the play. He's able to get up, and we should have a restart here. Perigin there, two-man wall. Nelson on the backside. Nato at the 6-yard box. Clevenger and Hamlin back on the backside also. Schumacher at the top of the circle. Perigin asking for space, it looks like. Spinning ball in, and that's a goal for the Cougars. Good ball by Perigin. So much spin on that. It's hard for the keeper, Ruda, to handle, and just spun right off him for the goal. .8:32 left to play. The Cougars take their first lead of the game. Dragons back into possession. Perigin steals. Perigin carrying it down the far side and out of bounds. Throw in for the Dragons. Number 16, Anthony Ruda, over there to take the throw. Dragons in possession. Played it up ahead. Perigin comes in and steals again. Plays it across to Hamlin. Hamlin leaked out, though, and couldn't get to the ball. Dragons cleared away. Schumacher challenging. First touch by number 4, Morales. Played across. Left strike. And Stewart can't control it. Goes out of bounds for a corner kick for Dragons. High ball sent in. Ball's loose. Dole's able to clear it over to the near side, and that's out of bounds. It'll be a throw for the Dragons. Number 7, Braden Carter, over to take the throw. Number 18, Manzur checks in. Manzur gets through, looking to get to his left. Sends it across, and off the mark. Goal kick for the Cougars. Gavin Dole back to take the restart. Cougars with the lead, 3-2. 6:25 left to play. Dole sends the backspinning ball to the center circle. Lewis heads it high into the air. Hamlin over there for it. Wins it down with his shoulder. Back to Perigin, deflected by number 7, Carter. Perigin comes in to challenge. Ball's loose, and foul called on Carter. Free kick for the Cougars. Some extracurriculars by number 7. Restart of play, free kick for the Cougars after the yellow card for the Dragons. Perigin sends it into the box. Backside, cleared away by the Dragons. Number 8 is Kevin Martinez. And throw in for the Cougars. Bennett Thomas over there to take the throw. Actually, Thomas is going to leave it for Clevenger to throw it into the box. Like we've said, this is a narrow field, so you can throw it all the way into the throw to the box. Clevenger, big throw in. Hamlin's there. Ball falls. Hamlin chasing back. Drops it to Perigin. Perigin makes a move over to Hamlin. Hamlin takes the strike but can't get a clean shot on it. And goal kick for the Dragons. Number 21, Aguilar, restarts. Hamlin comes in and steals. Aguilar is able to get there and clear it. Over to Perez. Perez in the middle of the field. Dragons carrying. Nato chasing back. Nelson there to pressure. Back into the middle for number 15, Juarez Perez. Perigin comes in, wins the ball, can't hold on to it, and whistle on the Dragons will be a free kick for the Cougars. 4 minutes to play. Perigin takes the free kick over the top for Clevenger to chase. Ruda comes out of the box, off his line, I should say, and is able to get it well at the top of the box. Stolen back by Perigin. Perigin takes the shot with the keeper out, but can't get it on frame. And it's another goal kick for the Dragons. Ball played to the near side. Touchdown by the Dragons into possession. Hamlin comes in to steal, falls to Ben Schumacher. He finds Clevenger. One touch to Perigin. Perigin looking to beat that back line. Perigin into the top of the box, takes a shot. And again, Garcia Ruda there to make the great save. Punted back to the middle of the field. Touched first by the Dragons. Ben Schumacher there gets a touch on the ball. Can't get possession. Perigin comes back. Stolen by the Dragons. Into transition for the Dragons. Stewart steps up and is able to grab it at the top of the box and falls on it. 2:45 to play. Stewart punts it away. Good top spinning ball all the way past the center line. Clevenger gets a touch wide to Thomas, but too heavy and out of play, throwing for the Dragons. Over to Perez. Perigin comes in and steals. Aguilar. Perigin still on the ball. Carrying wide, Aguilar defending. Ruda there to get a touch out of play, but ruled off of the Dragons. Will be a throw for the Cougars. Under 2 minutes to play here. Cougars still holding on to that 1 point lead. 1 goal lead, 3-2. Ball played back into the box. Switch to the field, but nobody's back for the Dragons. And we'll go out of bounds for a throw in for the Cougars. Nelson there to take the throw. Drops it back to Dole. Dangerous, unnecessary play by the Cougars. That's 2 seniors. You can't let that happen. Nelson's able to win it back. Dragons back into possession. Nelson comes in to challenge and commits the foul just outside the box. And just a boneheaded play by Nelson and Dole to let that ball be played back with 1:30 left on a throw-in. Free kick for the Dragons. Under a minute to play. Low ball hits the wall. Follow chipped in, and Stewart's there to make the save. Goes to the ground. Stewart top spinning ball into the middle. Runs over the first line. Loose is there, tries to head it. Perigin steals. Perigin out on the run. Into the box. Clipped away by Ward. And out of bounds on the end line for a corner. Just 20 seconds left to play. Cougars probably don't even need to get it back into play before the game's going to end here. Perigin restarts it to Nato. 2 seconds left, and that will do it for the game. The Cougars are able to secure the victory, 3-2. Good win for the Cougars. And last I saw, we do have a JV half, but I don't want to promise that since the last 2 times I promised it, the refs and the other team left before we got going, so I'll wait to see for sure, but it looks like there's enough players for that today. Okay, I have the clock running. We do officially have a JV half coming up. I'm actually going to end this live stream and start a new stream. So find the new link when it comes live here in just a few minutes. and we'll get going with the JV game. Thank you all for tuning in.